Good morning, Little Masters, and welcome back to today's Tolkien Times. I'm the Man of the West, also from the Prancing Pony podcast, and let's get started with Week 32's Word Nerd Wednesday. Now, this series I've been taking a close look at words that come up during my Third Age Thursday readings from Cirion and Eorl in Unfinished Tales. Now, last week we took a closer look at Alfrin, Uilos, and Simblumirna, the small white flower that grows on the tombs of the kings of Rohan, and apparently on top of the Halifirion. Today, we're going to take a look at the beautiful Quenya Oath spoken by Cirion atop the mountain. Vanda sina termaruva elenna norio alcar enyalian aralendil verondo veronwe. Nai tirovantes I harar mahalmassen mi numen ari eru I or ilye mahalmar eatenoyo. Now you might wonder why I'm bothering with a Word Nerd Wednesday on this when Cirion literally repeats his oath in the common speech immediately after, saying, "This oath shall stand in memory of the glory of the land of the star, and of the faith of Elendil the faithful, in the keeping of those who sit upon the thrones of the west, and of the one who is above all thrones forever." But the detail in Quenya is worth taking a closer look at, so let's dive in. Christopher Tolkien, in a footnote to this passage, which is based on Tolkien's notes, explains that the first word, Vanda, means an oath, pledge, or solemn promise. Now, I was unable to find more information on this anywhere. I looked in the etymologies in the Lost Road and other writings. I looked in Parma Eldalamberon number 17. What I did find, though, was a note leading me to an article in an issue of Parma Eldalamberon that I don't have. The article is Addenda and Corrigenda, which just means additions and corrections, to the etymologies, part 1, and it's in Parma Eldalamberon number 45. Now, from time to time, Carl F. Hostetter has dropped into the comments here. So, Carl, maybe you can help me out if you're watching. In that article, we learned that Quenya Vanda also means prison, hell, and comes from the primitive Quendian root bad, which shows up in Noldorin as band, and is the same element that we see in Angband, for instance. But that's only one derivative of the Quendian root bad. The other means judge or judgment. And that seems like the derivative we'd be looking at for Vanda here to mean oath, because an oath calls down judgment if it is broken. In this, though, I have to tell you I am only guessing. I couldn't find anything to confirm this beyond the definition in the footnote. Termaruva is a compound word from ter meaning through, and mar meaning abide, be settled or fixed in the future tense. And once again, this comes to us through the footnote to the text. That's also where we learn that Elenna Norio is a reference to Numenor, the land of the star. Literally, though, the name means towards or to the star, or starward's land. And it was named this, of course, because the Edain that first sailed to the island of Numenor to inhabit it in the time of Elros after the War of Wrath were sailing starwards, following the star of Eärendil to reach it. Now, the way it's used here is in the genitive case, and it depends on Alcar, which means glory, so thus the glory of the land of the star in the common speech. Now, Alcar is something we also see in Alcarinque, the name of Jupiter in the sky of Arda, translated as the glorious. Now, it's also in a name of the youngest of Elros's children, a son named Atanalcar, which would translate as man-glory. Thanks to Tolkien Gateway, I also learned that we see this in Tolkien's personal translation of the Gloria in Excelsis Deo into Quenya, which was published in Vinyar Tengwar number 44, and that reads, Alcar mitarmenel na erun armikemen raine ihinin. I sure hope I'm getting this all right. And that translates to, glory be to God in the highest, and peace to his people on earth. Christmas carols in Quenya. That's a thing. Jingle Nella, Frosty the Lossoth, O Christmas Orne. I'm here for it. And Yalian will sound very familiar to those of us who have ever attended an Oxenmoot. On the Sunday afternoon of Oxenmoot, at the conclusion of the event, we take a bus over to Wolvercote Cemetery, where Tolkien and his wife Edith are buried, to lay a wreath on the grave. The chair, currently Sean Gunner, reads a passage, and the song Namarie is sung. It is always poignant, and it's a very important part of Oxenmoot. But the word is important too. It's a compound word from en, meaning again, and yal, meaning summon. Now, in the infinitive, it is enyalie, meaning memory or remembrance. Here in the oath, it is in the dative tense as Enyalian and means for the recalling, and is connected to Alcar once again, so it is to recall or commemorate the glory of Starward's land. Verando, according to the footnote, is the genitive form of veranda, meaning steadfast in allegiance, in keeping oath or promise, faithful. But why verando veranwe, right? Why that repetitive stuff? Well, verando is a title attached to Elendil. That is, Elendil the steadfast in allegiance, or Elendil the faithful. Then there's veranwe, which means steadfastness, loyalty, or faithfulness, and that is the object of Enyalian, and that's why it's translated as "and of the faith of Elendil the faithful." Of course, you might also remember the elf named Veranwe, who loyally and faithfully led Tuor to the hidden entrance to Gondolin. Then we get another word you might remember, maybe, nai, in the phrase nai tiruvantes. You might remember it from the last line of Galadriel's lament, nai hiruvalye valimar, nai elye hiruva. Now that's translated there as, maybe thou shalt find Valimar, maybe even thou shalt find it. But it is more than just, maybe, maybe not. It literally translates as, be it that, may it be that. It is a wish. May it be that you find Valimar. Here, with Tiruvantes, it means, be it that they will guard it, hence, in the keeping of those. Iharar means they who are sitting upon, and then Mahalmasan is the locative plural of Mahalma, meaning throne. Here it's referring to the Valar, those on the thrones in the west, but we'll see it again as Mahalmar, meaning all thrones, in reference to Eru. You probably don't need me to explain that Numen means west, as in Numenor, or that Eru means the one. Ea means is. It was, of course, the one word spoken by Eru to bring all of Arda into existence. Ea. And finally, Tennoyo. It's a compound. Tenna means up to or as far as, while Oyo means an endless period or forever, as in Oyolose, ever snow white or everlasting snow, one of the names for the holy mountain Teniquetil. Thus, Tennoyo meaning up to endless until forever. So, this oath, settled now and always, commemorates the glory of Starward's land and Elendil the faithful's steadfastness. May they guard it who sit on the thrones in the west, also Eru, who is over all thrones forever. That's just another translation, a little more literal. Well, folks, that is it for today's Word Nerd Wednesday. Come back next time as we wander the wide, wild, wonderful world of words weekly on Wednesdays. And if there's a word you want to know more about, please let me know by emailing barnaman@theprancingponypodcast.com. Please visit patreon.com/TolkienTimes to learn how you can support the show, get an ad-free feed, a monthly hangout with me, a bonus weekly episode, and a lot more. Join me again tomorrow on today's Tolkien Times for Third Age Thursday as we read the Oath again. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Please follow or subscribe on your podcast apps and follow @Tolkien Times on social media. Finally, as Faramir says, go with the goodwill of all good men.